The distant distress signal. The vast emptiness of space rarely betrayed its secrets, but on this particular night, the communication arrays at the Titan Deep Space Monitoring Station hummed with an unexpected urgency. Lieutenant Kira Rodriguez sat perfectly still, her eyes locked on the flickering holographic display that had just sprung to life with an extraordinary transmission. The unexpected message. The signal was unlike anything she had encountered in her 7 years of deep space monitoring. It wasn't the typical structured communications of known galactic civilizations, nor was it the random background noise of stellar radiation. This was different, a desperate, raw cry for help that seemed to pierce through the cosmic silence. Kira's fingers danced across the holographic interface, isolating and amplifying the transmission. The language was strange, a complex series of harmonic frequencies that seemed to convey more emotion than words. Yet beneath the alien linguistics, she could discern a universal tone. Pure, unfiltered terror. "Commander Phillips," she called out, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins, "we have something you need to see." Commander David Phillips approached, his weathered face a map of decades spent watching the infinite darkness. He had seen countless anomalies, false alarms, and near-miss scenarios, but something in Kira's tone told him this was different. Decoding the impossible. The station's advanced linguistic algorithms worked overtime, slowly parsing the alien transmission. Fragments began to take shape, mentions of a civilization under threat, of a merciless approaching force, of a desperate plea for assistance from any listening species. "They're called the Luminary," Kira explained, translating the incoming data. "A purely scientific civilization located in the Orion Arm, approximately 1,200 light-years from Earth. Their entire culture is built around research, medical advancement, and peaceful exploration." Commander Phillips leaned closer to the holographic display. "And now they're under attack." The transmission painted a grim picture. The Luminary were facing an aggressive species known as the Vorax Collective, a technologically advanced civilization that viewed other species as nothing more than resources to be harvested. Their massive fleet was closing in on the Luminary home system, with overwhelming numerical superiority and weapons that could strip entire planets of their resources in mere hours. The human response. "Protocol dictates we forward this to Central Command," Lieutenant Rodriguez said, her finger hovering over the transmission relay. Commander Phillips considered for a moment. The human race had only been a recognized galactic civilization for less than a century. They were still viewed with suspicion by many older species, considered too aggressive, too unpredictable. But they were also known for something else, an unwavering commitment to protecting the vulnerable. "No," he said finally, "we're going to do more than just forward a message." Within hours, the transmission had been analyzed, verified, and escalated through multiple levels of Earth's governmental and military structures. The Luminary's desperate call had found its way to the one place in the galaxy where it would be taken most seriously. A species awakens. The United Earth Defense Council convened an emergency session. Holographic displays showed the strategic positioning of the Vorax fleet, the vulnerable Luminary system, and the vast distances that separated potential rescuers from the endangered civilization. Admiral Rashid Khan, a veteran of multiple interstellar conflicts, stood before the council. His presentation was concise, his recommendation clear. "We cannot allow another peaceful civilization to be destroyed. The Luminary have contributed more to galactic medical knowledge in the past decade than most species do in centuries. We have the capability to respond, and more importantly, we have the moral obligation to do so." The room fell silent. Everyone understood the implications. Responding would mean committing to a potentially devastating conflict against a numerically superior enemy. It would mean risking human lives to save a species most humans had never heard of, who lived in a part of the galaxy most would never see. But that was humanity's nature. Not just to survive, but to stand against injustice, to protect those who could not protect themselves. "Prepare the Third Expeditionary Fleet," the Council President announced. We launch within 48 hours. As preparation began, no one in the room knew exactly what awaited them. But they knew one thing with absolute certainty. The Vorex Collective was about to learn why humanity was feared and respected across the galaxy. The rescue mission had begun. Mobilization of Earth's defenders. The massive shipyards of Luna Base buzzed with unprecedented activity. Massive construction scaffolds surrounded half-completed warships, while swarms of robotic assemblers worked with inhuman precision. The Third Expeditionary Fleet was taking shape, a testament to human engineering and determination. Gathering the force, Admiral Rashid Khan stood on the observation deck, watching as the fleet's flagship, the UES Indomitable, received its final systems checks. At 1.2 kilometers long, the vessel was more than just a warship. It was a mobile city of human technological prowess. "Status report," he commanded, his voice cutting through the controlled chaos of the command center. Lieutenant Alina Novik pulled up the holographic readouts. All 17 primary vessels are now combat-ready. Weapon systems at 100% capacity. Quantum drive cores are stable. We're just awaiting final personnel transfers. The fleet was a carefully constructed machine. Each ship was designed to operate in conditions that would crush most alien species. Humans had evolved on Earth, a world of crushing gravity, violent weather, and constant environmental challenges. Their ships reflected that heritage, built tough, designed to withstand punishment that would tear apart vessels from gentler worlds. The technological edge. Dr. Rajesh Mehta, the fleet's chief technical officer, approached Admiral Khan. His tablet displayed complex schematics of the ship's most advanced systems. "Our primary advantage against the Vorex won't be numbers," Mehta explained, "but adaptability. Our quantum adaptive armor can reconfigure molecular structures in milliseconds. A weapon that penetrates one section will find the next section has already hardened or shifted its molecular density." Khan nodded. It was a typically human solution, not just to defend, but to transform defense into an active form of attack. Personal motivations. Each crew member brought their own reason for being part of this mission. For some, it was the professional challenge. For others, a deeper sense of moral obligation. Lieutenant Marcos Garcia, lead pilot of the fighter squadrons, remembered the stories his grandmother told him about Earth's early days of space exploration. How humanity had always reached out, always explored, always helped those in need. "We're not just defending the luminary," he told his squadron during a pre-mission briefing. "We're defending the principle that no civilization should face extinction alone." Political tensions. Not everyone supported the mission. Back on Earth, political debates raged. Some argued that risking human lives for an alien civilization was foolish. Others saw it as an opportunity to prove humanity's worth on the galactic stage. The United Earth Council had been deeply divided. But the intelligence reports were clear. The Vorex Collective wasn't just a threat to the luminary. Their systematic destruction of peaceful civilizations represented a broader danger to galactic stability. Final preparations. Specialized training programs ran around the clock. Soldiers trained in zero-gravity combat simulators that replicated the Vorex ship designs. Pilots practiced maneuvers that would be impossible for most alien species, turns and acceleration that would liquefy the internal organs of less robust life forms. Admiral Khan reviewed the final mission parameters. The distance was vast, nearly 1,200 light-years. Their quantum drives would need to perform at absolute peak efficiency. One miscalculation could leave the fleet stranded in the cold emptiness of space. "We're not just a rescue mission," Khan told his senior staff during the final briefing. "We're a message. A declaration that there are still civilizations in this galaxy willing to stand up against tyranny." As the last supply containers were loaded and final system checks completed, a sense of anticipation filled the Luna Base shipyards. Humanity was about to remind the galaxy why they were called Deathworlders, and why that title was both a warning and a promise. The Third Expeditionary Fleet was ready. The journey to save the luminary was about to begin. The journey through hyperspace. The moment of quantum jump was always surreal. As the UEA's indomitable's quantum drives engage, reality seemed to fold and compress around the massive vessel. Inside the ship, the crew experienced nothing more than a momentary sensation of weightlessness, a testament to human engineering and physiological adaptation. The void between worlds. Lieutenant Alina Novak monitored the ship's quantum navigation systems, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that would have looked like magic to humans just decades earlier. The vastness of hyperspace stretched around them, a realm between realms, where conventional physics became more suggestion than law. Quantum stability at 99.8%, she reported to Admiral Khan. All 17 ships are maintaining perfect formation sync. The fleet moved as a single organism, each vessel precisely spaced, their quantum fields interlinked. It was a delicate dance of technology that represented the pinnacle of human space travel capabilities. Preparing for the unknown. In the ship's primary strategy room, holographic displays mapped out everything known about the Vorex Collective. Intelligence gathered from various sources painted a grim picture, a species that viewed other civilizations as nothing more than resources to be harvested. Dr. Rajesh Mehta pointed to a rotating model of a Vorex warship. Their technology is impressive, but predictable. They rely on overwhelming numerical superiority and standardized attack patterns. Our adaptability will be our greatest weapon. The human factor. Crew members used the extended hyperspace journey for intensive training. Zero-gravity combat simulations ran continuously. Specialized teams practiced rapid response scenarios, everything from ship-to-ship combat to potential planetary rescue operations. Lieutenant Marcos Garcia spent hours in the fighter squadron simulator. His team practiced maneuvers that would be impossible for most alien species, turns and acceleration that would liquefy the internal organs of less robust life forms. Remember, he told his pilots, we're not just flying machines. We're the product of a world that tried to kill us every single day. Gravity, predators, environmental challenges. Earth didn't just create life. It created survivors. The weight of expectation. Personal quarters became spaces of quiet reflection. Each crew member carried the weight of the mission and the hopes of an entire civilization. Ensign Yuki Tanaka, a young communications specialist, recorded a message for her family. We're heading into something bigger than ourselves, she spoke softly into her personal log. Not just a military mission, but a statement about who we are as a species. Tactical preparations. Admiral Khan's strategy team worked tirelessly. They analyzed every piece of intelligence about the Vorex Collective. Their goal wasn't just to rescue the luminary. It was to send a message that would resonate across the galaxy. We're not just fighting, Khan explained during a senior staff meeting. We're demonstrating the true nature of humanity. We didn't evolve on a gentle world. We evolved on a planet that demanded we become stronger, smarter, more adaptable with every generation. The psychological challenge. The journey through hyperspace was as much a psychological test as a technological one. Weeks of travel, confined in a massive ship, required mental discipline that few species could match. Daily routine became a carefully choreographed ballet of training, maintenance, and psychological preparation. Crew members engaged in group activities, mental health check-ins, and continuous skill development. As they approached the outer limits of their quantum jump, a sense of anticipation filled the fleet. The luminary's distress signal had brought them across impossible distances. Now they would show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. Quantum jump sequence completion in 3, 2, 1. Alina Novak's voice cut through the tension. The fleet emerged from hyperspace, the unknown waiting before them. A challenge humanity had never backed down from. The rescue mission was about to begin in earnest. First contact with the threat. The luminary home system appeared on the long-range scanners like a delicate crystal suspended in the void of space. Massive crystalline structures orbited a soft blue-green planet, their intricate designs a testament to a civilization built on scientific precision and peaceful exploration. But the beauty was marred by destruction. The Vorax assault. Swarms of angular, metallic ships surrounded the luminary world. Like a plague of mechanical locusts, the Vorax vessels stripped away at orbital installations, their weapons cutting through defensive shields with ruthless efficiency. Tactical assessment. Admiral Khan commanded, his voice calm despite the carnage before them. Lieutenant Alina Novak's fingers flew across her console, detecting approximately 273 Vorax vessels, multiple planetary bombardment platforms. The luminary defense systems are at less than 12% operational capacity. The unexpected defenders. The first response from the Vorax came quickly, a barrage of high-energy plasma weapons that would have obliterated most known spacefaring civilizations. But the human fleet was anything but ordinary. Quantum adaptive shields engaging, Dr. Mehta reported. The UEA's indomitable's hull seemed to shimmer, molecular structures realigning millisecond by millisecond to absorb and redirect the incoming energy. Lieutenant Marcos Garcia led the first wave of fighter response. His squadron moved with a precision that defied conventional understanding. Turns and accelerations that would have crushed the internal organs of any other species. Vorax fighters incoming, his comm crackled. Prepare for engagement. The dance of destruction. The space between the human fleet and the Vorax armada transformed into a canvas of technological warfare. Human fighters moved like living creatures, diving, spinning, changing vector in ways that seemed to violate the basic principles of space combat. Each human pilot was the product of generations evolved on Earth, a world that punished weakness and rewarded adaptability. Their reflexes, their ability to withstand gravitational forces, their tactical thinking, all were weapons more powerful than any ship-mounted cannon. They're trying to establish a defensive formation, Marcos called out. Breaking it down now. His squadron moved as a single organism. Where Vorax pilots followed programmed attack patterns, the humans improvised, adapted, transformed their entire approach in seconds. The luminary perspective. From the surface of their dying world, the luminary watched in astonishment. Their scientific databases had records of human capabilities, but nothing could have prepared them for the reality of human warfare. First researcher Zara, one of the few remaining luminary leadership, watched the holographic displays with a mixture of terror and hope. The humans moved not like a military force, but like a living, breathing entity. Each ship, each fighter seemed to have an almost organic connection to its crew. Unexpected complexity. The Vorax had built their entire military strategy on numerical superiority and standardized attack protocols. They had conquered dozens of civilizations by overwhelming them with sheer numbers and technological consistency. They had never encountered a species like humans. Their combat algorithms are breaking down, Dr. Mehta observed. Our unpredictability is causing their tactical networks to fail. Admiral Khan allowed himself a slight smile. Exactly what we trained for. The first strike. The UES Indomitable's primary weapons powered up. Not massive energy cannons, but something far more innovative. Quantum-compressed kinetic projectiles that could alter their molecular density mid-flight, capable of penetrating even the most advanced defensive systems. First strike vector calculated, Alina Novak announced. The first volley hit like a surgical strike. 3 primary Vorax command vessels simply ceased to exist, not exploded, not damaged, but completely eliminated as if they had never been. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived, and they were nothing like any threat the Vorax had ever encountered. As the battle entered its next phase, one thing became abundantly clear. This was no longer just a rescue mission. This was a demonstration, a reminder of what happens when a species is forged in the crucible of a truly unforgiving world. The Deathworlders were here, and they were just getting started. The turning point. The battlefield transformed into a canvas of technological warfare, unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. What had begun as a rescue mission had become a definitive statement about humanity's place in the cosmic ecosystem. The breaking point. The Vorax Collective's command structure began to unravel. Their sophisticated tactical networks, built on centuries of conquest, couldn't process the human fleet's utterly unpredictable combat approach. Where other species would have rigid formations, the humans moved like a living, breathing organism, each ship, each pilot an individual yet part of a perfect whole. They're losing cohesion, Dr. Rajesh Mehta observed from the UEA's Indomitable's strategy room. His holographic displays showed the Vorax fleet's formation disintegrating. Their entire combat methodology is based on predictability. We're anything but predictable. Rescue and retribution. Admiral Khan's voice cut through the ship's communication systems. Primary objective remains the preservation of luminary lives. Secondary objective: neutralize the Vorax threat permanently. Lieutenant Alina Novik coordinated the rescue operations. Precision-targeted quantum transporters began evacuating luminary survivors from their dying orbital structures. Each rescue was a surgical strike of technological precision, moving hundreds of beings from doomed vessels to safety in mere moments. The human difference. Lieutenant Marcos Garcia led the fighter squadrons in a dance of destruction that defied conventional warfare. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Each maneuver was a testament to generations of survival on a world that demanded constant adaptation. They're trying to regroup in Sector 7, he called out, breaking their formation now. His squadron moved with a fluidity that seemed to mock the laws of physics. Turns that would liquefy the internal organs of most species were mere routine for these pilots, children of a world that had always demanded the impossible. The luminary perspective. First, researcher Zara watched from the emergency command center on the luminary home planet. Her species had always been observers, researchers, healers. They had never been warriors. But now, they'd witnessed something extraordinary. They're not just fighting, she whispered to her assistant. They're protecting. There's a fundamental difference. The human fleet moved with a purpose beyond mere military objectives. Each action was calculated, yet infused with a deeper moral imperative, a protection of life that transcended clinical military strategy. The final confrontation. The Vorax Collective's primary command vessel emerged from the chaos, a massive construct that had subjugated dozens of civilizations. Admiral Khan studied the holographic representation carefully. One final message, he commanded. The communication went out on all frequencies, not just to the Vorax, but to every listening civilization in the sector. You have two choices. Khan's voice resonated with calm determination. Withdraw and never threaten another peaceful civilization, or be removed permanently from the galactic equation. The turning moment. Something unprecedented happened. The Vorax, a species that had never known retreat, that had conquered dozens of worlds, began to withdraw. Their tactical algorithms could not compute a response to an enemy so fundamentally different from anything they had ever encountered. Humanity had done more than win a battle. They had rewritten the understanding of warfare, of protection, of survival. As the last Vorax vessels retreated, the human fleet began the delicate process of supporting the luminary. Medical teams prepared to assist. Engineering crews stood ready to help rebuild. Scientists prepared to exchange knowledge. Aftermath. The luminary home system, moments ago on the brink of total destruction, now pulsed with renewed hope. The crystalline structures began to reform, damaged but not defeated. Admiral Khan looked out at the recovering system. We didn't just save a civilization, he told his crew. We reminded the galaxy of something important. Lieutenant Alina Novik completed his thought. That strength isn't about destruction. It's about protection. As recovery operations began, one thing became crystal clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had brought with them a message more powerful than any weapon. Where others saw limitation, humans saw opportunity. Where others saw destruction, humans saw a chance to protect. The Deathworlders had come, and the galaxy would never be the same.